Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hi guys, we are from Spons Group. Let me introduce our group. My name is Nur Hasida.
My name is Rani.
My name is Ulfa Inaya.
Here we will explain about teaching approach, teaching method, and teaching technique. The first is I will explain about teaching approach. An approach is a way of looking at teaching and learning. Underlying and language teaching approach is a tutorial view of what the language is and of how it can be learned. An approach gives rise to method, the way of teaching something. With us, classroom, with use, classroom activity or technique to help learner to learn. For example of approach is the first teaching center. Teaching center is study that more like lecturing to give lecturing or knowledge to students understand about material. And the next is learning centers. Learning centers is this focus to material that the student make with how a teacher talk, and the student must be understand the material. And the third is teacher dominance. This way only the teacher calls to hear, and the teacher like the sole dispenser of information. And the last is interactive. Interactive because we'll have more student talk and not a teacher talk. And your audience will listen to your or read the content but want to do both.
The next, teaching method. Teaching method is the stimulation, guidance, direction, and encouragement for learning. For example of method, the first is teacher-centered method. Here the teacher gets herself in the role of being a master of the subject matter. The teacher is looked upon by the learners as an expert of an authority. Learners, on the other hand, are presumed to be passive and couples recipients of knowledge from the teacher. And the second is learner-centered method. In learner-centered methods, the teacher-instructor is both a teacher and a learner at the same time. In the words of Lawrence Stenhouse, the teacher plays a dual role as a learner as well, so that in his classroom extends rather than constricts his intellectual horizons. The teacher also learns new things every day, which she did know in the process of teaching. Examples of learner-centered methods are discussion method. And the next, content-focused method. In this category of methods, both the teacher and the learners have to fit into the content that is taught. Generally, this means the information and skill to be taught and regarded as sacrosanct or very important. A lot of emphasis is laid on the clarity and careful analysis of content. But the teacher and the learners cannot alter or become critical of anything to do with the content. An example of method which subordinates the interests of the teacher and learners to the content is the program linear approach. And the last is interactive or participative methods. These four categories borrow a bit from the three other methods without necessarily laying emphasis entirely on either the learner, content, or teacher. These methods are driven by the situational analysis of what is the most appropriate thing for us to learn, and situation of learners and the teacher.
Okay, the next teaching technique. Definition of technique. Teaching technique is implementation that which actual takes place in a classroom. For example of technique, This method is to train students to look for strong arguments in solving a controversial problem and to have democratic attitude and mutual respect for difference of opinion. And the second is jigsaw learning. Jigsaw learning is this method is to train students to get used to discussion and individually responsible to help understand about a subject matter to their classmates. And the third, role play is provide concrete experience of what has been learned and illustrate the principle of learning material. And the last, team quiz is this team can improve the ability of students to responsibility about what they learn in a fun and not scary way.
And the last about is difference of approach, methods, and technique. The approach is as a theoretical framework that covers the application of language learning within the scope of education, while the technique as a component of activities in learning to active learning and methods of bringing the to learning.
Okay, that's all from our group. So thank you for watching.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.